Now, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Minecraft 1.13, and I especially like building aquariums in Minecraft 1.13. And I'm also a big fan of Redstone, and I especially like building piston doors with Redstone. So today, we're going to be doing a rather wonderful mashup. Aquarium piston door. I have no idea how this is even going to work. Okay, my basic concept is that we're going to have 2 layers of glass. So we're going to have 1 layer of glass at the front and 1 layer of glass at the back. And then in the center, we're going to have all of our water. And inside there, we're going to have our fish or anything else that we want to put on the inside of the aquarium. So I guess the best way to do this would be to kind of push the glass up and down from the ceiling and from the floor to open and close our door. And I would say we'll go 3 blocks high on this one. Now this theoretically works, but it requires 2 pulses. So that pushes the glass up out the way, and then we'd need to pulse it again to grab all of the blocks. And then as you can see, we have got a 3 high opening. So that has actually pushed all of the blocks upwards. It's good. Is it perfect? It's probably not perfect, is it? That's not... We need to get 2 pulses. How could we get 2 pulses through? Maybe I've thought of something. Yes, it actually does. Hang on. Let me just give this a whirl. So if we hit this button here... That's it. That's nailed it. Look. We hit the button. Everything goes up, and then everything gets retracted back down. That's very impressive. And the way that we've done it is, as you can see at the back here, we've got some pistons which push up. They extend blocks upwards that update the observers. So when these observers get pushed upwards, they send out a pulse, which is what's firing out our block. And then I think when these blocks retract, I think it's on the retraction, they move out the way of the observers. That causes the observers to fire another pulse, which then causes these pistons up at the front to fire a pulse, grabbing back their blocks, and then we go through the regular retraction sequence. That makes it sound so complicated. Essentially, I'm just extending blocks upwards to cause updates to observers, which means the piston fire. It still sounds complicated. It sounds complicated. This should sound simpler. This top line powers these top pistons, this second line powers the second pistons, this third line powers our third piston. That's embarrassing, isn't it? That's really embarrassing. Okay, now that I've actually sorted out the simple part of the redstone circuitry so that it works, yeah, this top line powers these pistons, second line, second pistons, third line, third pistons, and that means that we now have a back and forth system. So if we hit this button, that pushes all of our glass upwards, open door, and then we hit this button, that pushes all of our glass downwards, closed. We've got an aquarium. Now we just need to build this on the other side, which is going to be quite simple because, yeah, this is all completely reflectable. So the systems themselves are all in place. You can see that we have got, yeah, both sets of triple piston extenders firing through there. So we now have a fully opening door. This thing is going to function. The only thing is that we need to do all of the logic circuitry. So we need to make sure that this fires on the falling edge, this one fires on the rising edge, and that will deal with all the glass. And then we need to start working out the water and how we're actually going to make this aquarium. This does not appear to be working. Yeah, so my whole retraction sequence has stopped. Oh, and that probably has something to do with it, the fact that it's not connected up. Now that it's connected up, still doesn't appear to be working, so that's not so promising. Finally, we got there. With a lot of changes to the redstone wiring, we now have ourselves a system that is looking good. So there we go. Everything is opened there, and then obviously all of this glass will be fully protected and covered in concrete, so we won't be able to see through, and it will all look lovely. And then I guess up at the top, that's where we're going to be dealing with all of the water. We don't actually have that. I mean, this is really it. We've got 1 block to play with. So if I was to just have a line of dispensers in the center here, if we power those, that's what it would look like. Now that actually looks better than I was expecting it to. That's good enough. And then if we hit this button, how long does it take for that water to clear? Oh, that's painful. Okay, we need to set up some form of system that clears that a little bit faster because, yeah, we can't be having that. Okay, here's my idea for getting rid of all the water. We've got double piston extenders on the sides, which should push across and they should remove a lot of the excess water. I've just thought. So all of the blocks are going to be pushing up from the bottom. So we've got blocks going up from the bottom, and then all of the water will be retracted from the top. So I suppose we only really have to wait. Which ones do we actually have to take out? Where do we have to remove? I'm getting myself all lost. Hopefully I can sort all of this out because, yeah, my brain's a bit all over the place. This is a bit of a strange redstone project. So I'm going to take the redstone output from the input to the system. So then the water will be retracted. We've actually added in a redstone line that will allow us to retract all the water. And then these double piston extenders should fire across while all of this is happening with the opening circuits. And then all of this floor will be pushed upwards. So that will take out all the water on the bottom. And these double extenders should extend across, clearing out most of the water on the left-hand side. Now I just want to see how much that's actually going to do. And 3, 2, 1, go. That seems like a lot of things happening all at once. And I must admit, I don't know if any of that worked. So let's go again. Whoa. Okay. That wasn't so good. After nursing this thing back to health and actually getting the double piston extenders to work, it still didn't really do a great job at clearing the water. So I've gone back to the drawing board and I've actually redone a lot of the timing. So there is the closing, and that all happens very quickly. Now with the opening, you can see the water mainly clears out, and then all of the pistons clear the remainder of the water, and then everything opens up. And it actually works much quicker than any of the previous designs that I'd created, which is pretty handy. Anyway, now that we finally have this actual setup working, we now need to start getting some fish and things on the inside of this thing. So as you can see, I've added some dispensers on either side, and inside these dispensers we have fish, and then on these we have got potions of harming. So the idea is that when the door closes up, then these dispensers will fire a couple of times and we'll get some fish swimming around in our aquarium. Then unfortunately, whenever we want to open our door, these dispensers down at the bottom here will fire a couple of times, and that will kill off all of our fish. I'm hoping. I mean, once again, I have no clue if this is going to work properly. And I tell you now, I've been staring at this. I've been staring at this for probably about 5 or 6 minutes now, which doesn't sound like much time, but to be doing nothing, it's quite a long time. I can't do it. My head. It's not adding up in my head, and it's so simple. Thankfully, I've finally managed to get myself in order. And now I think I've come up with a system that should work. I'm interested to see how many times this fires. So if we flick this lever, nothing will happen for the time being, but everything will kick in and the door will open up. How many fish are we going to get in the aquarium with this setup? We get 2 fish. And it only came out one side, so clearly that is too long of a redstone line. Compacting has well and truly gone out. I mean, it had gone out the window from minute 1, but it's definitely gone out the window now. Right, hopefully this new system works a little bit better. Yes, there we go. So there we have our fish. Our fish are on the inside there. They're just kind of roaming around and they're doing their own thing. And then when we want to open up our door, I mean, that's awful. It's terrible that we kill off our fish, but we do get a bunch of fish out of it, which is handy. But then when we want to close this thing back up again, we get more. Oh my word! This is my favorite. This is probably one of my. I absolutely love this thing. I do think we need more fish though, so I might up our pulse extender here, and go. Now that's a little bit more like it. That is one filled aquarium. So eventually these guys will start dispersing maybe? Or do they all kind of chill out with one another? Oh no, yeah, there we go. So we've got some kind of dropping in and doing interesting things. So there it is. And then, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a mass killing. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. That's done the trick. Well, there we go. We have created a working aquarium door in Minecraft. It is fantastic, if I do say so myself. But obviously, this one doesn't actually work in survival mode. So I'd be interested to see if someone could create one that actually functions in survival mode using drowned. How cool would it be if you had some form of XP grinder where the zombies drop through, they then fall into the water of your door, they drown, become the drowned, and then you have them swimming around on the inside of your door, and then they get killed off when you want to go through. That's my challenge for today's redstone video. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this, please drill to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.